Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Girijanandana Niranjana, Girijanandana Niranjana, He Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Girijanandana Niranjana, Parvati Nandana Shobhanana, Parvati Nandana Shobhanana, Parvati Nandana Shobhanana, Parvati Nandana Shobhanana, Pahi Prabho Mam, Pahi Prasanna, Pahi Prabho Mam, Pahi Prasanna, Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Girijanandana Niranjana, He Gauri Nandana Gajanana, Girijanandana Niranjana.
Sahana bhavatu, sahano bhunakto, sahaviryam karavavahai, tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sadashivasamarambham Shankaracharya-madhyamam Asmadacharya-paryantam Vande Guru-paramparam Shruti-smriti-purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavat-padam Shankaram Lokashankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Keshavam Badarayanam Sutrabhashya Kruto Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punah. So from today onwards, we'll be taking up Kaivalya Upanishad. So first let us start from what is Upanishad. Upanishad, this term, it constitutes of three parts. Upa plus Ni plus Sat. So what does Upa mean? Upa Samipe, near. Upa, near, Samipe. Ni means Nishchayena or Nishtaya. Nishtaya means with sincerity. Nishchayena means with determination. Then Sat. Sat has got three meanings. Visharana, Gati, Avasadana. Visharana means loosening. Gati means movement. Gati also means goal. Avasadana means destruction. So what does Upanishad mean? Upanishad means that knowledge, when approached, that knowledge, when approached. Now how can you approach a knowledge? You can approach the knowledge only by approaching the person who has got the knowledge. Meaning, approaching a realized master, because we are dealing with self-knowledge. So that knowledge, which when approached and gained through a realized master, and which when practiced with sincerity, with determination, nischayena, nishtaya. That knowledge, when gained through a master, and when practiced with sincerity and determination, then what happens? Something has to happen. What happens? Sat happens. What happens? Sat means loosening, Sat means destruction. The bondage is destroyed, ignorance is destroyed, the very seed of transmigration, the very possibility of birth-death cycle is destroyed. One gains a knowledge and gati, one attains the ultimate goal. And what is the ultimate goal? The Supreme Brahman, the ultimate truth. So what does Upanishad mean? Upanishad shabdena vidya uchyate. Upanishad means knowledge. What kind of knowledge? Self-knowledge. Upanishad means self-knowledge. Since the textbook deals with this knowledge, sometimes the textbook is also called as Upanishad. Now we are dealing with Kaivalya Upanishad. What is Kaivalya? Kaivalya comes from the term Kevala. Kevala means what? Only one. That is called Kevala. Non-dual. So Kaivalya means the state of Kevala. Kevalasya bhavaha Kaivalyaha. That state of Kevala. That state of non-duality. That state of being only one. That is called Kaivalya. So naturally, since it is only one, it has to be infinite. The moment two comes, the infinite becomes finite. If there is only one, it has to be infinite. So that state of non-duality, that state of infinity is called Kaivalya. And when a person reaches this state, experiences this state, he becomes liberated. So therefore, Kaivalya has got another meaning, moksha, liberation. So what is this Upanishad going to deal with? This Upanishad is going to deal with MOKSHA SHASTRA. It is going to deal with the knowledge of liberation. Kaivalya Upanishad. Now, where is this Upanishad found? This Upanishad is found in Atharvana Veda. Some say this Upanishad is found in Krishna Yajurveda also. But as far as our present talk is concerned, we will consider it as to be the source to be as Atharvana Veda. Right. This Upanishad is considered to be a minor Upanishad. What do you mean minor Upanishad? That implies that there is something called major Upanishad. Right. So all those Upanishads where Bhagavan Shankaracharya has written a commentary, those Upanishads are called major Upanishads. What are they? So there is a very famous verse. Ishakena katha prashna munda mandukya tittiri aitareyam cha chandogyam brihadaranyakam dasha. 10 are there. Dasha. What are they? Isha, Kena, Katha, Prashna, Mundaka, Mandukya, Taittiriya Upanishad, Aitariya Upanishad, then Chandogya Upanishad and Brihadaranya Upanishad. So upon all these Upanishads, Bhagavan Shankaracharya ji has written a commentary. So therefore they are called as major Upanishads. Now why did Bhagavan Shankaracharya write only commentary on only those 10? So it is said that these 10 Upanishads are referred to by Bhagavan Vedavyasji while writing Brahma Sutra. So therefore maybe that is one reason. Upon this Upanishad, Bhagavan has not written any commentary, therefore it comes under the category of minor Upanishad. Now, though it is said minor, it doesn't mean the contents are minor. Contents are major only. The topic under discussion is serious, it is of the highest nature. So in no way we can take this Upanishad lightly. Right. So this is about Kaivalya Upanishad. So in every Upanishad there has to be a teacher, there has to be a taught. So who is the Guru in this Upanishad? The Guru is none other than Lord Brahmājī. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, that Brahmājī. And then who is the student? Student also is a great Rishi called Ashvalāyana Rishi. So in this Upanishad we have a clear idea who the teacher is, who the taught is. Some other Upanishads are there where we don't know who the teacher and taught is. But here the clear mention is there. Right. So now shall we enter into the text? So before entering into the text, normally we have this Shānti Pātha, invocation prayer. So the student and the teacher, they sit together and they pray together. First let us chant this mantra, page number 7 in the English book. Om Bhadram Karnebhe Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangai stuštuvagam Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Swasti na indro vruddhashravāha Swasti nah pūṣā vishvavedaः Swasti nastarkṣyo arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspatirdadhātu Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Together, Om Bhadram Karnebhe Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pashye Makshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangai stuštuvagam sastanubhihi Vyashema devahitam yadayuhu Swasti na indro vruddhashravāha Swasti nah pūṣā vishvavedaः Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yes. So in the Vedic times, it was a practice that whenever they used to study a text, whenever the class would begin, they would begin the class with a prayer. Now, why should we pray? This invocation prayer, there are very many purposes. Purpose number one, to prepare the mind. Purpose number two, to invoke the grace and blessings of the Lord. Purpose number three, to remove all obstacles which may prevent an efficient study. And purpose number four, to create a conducive environment between the teacher and the taught, because the subject matter is going to be very subtle. So, an environment of peace and harmony is unavoidable before the teaching process can begin. So, therefore, it was a practice to chant and invoke the grace and blessings of the Lord before starting the class. So now let us briefly see the meaning of what this prayer is. Om. Om means it is one letter for the Lord. Om. O Lord. Bhadram karnebihi shrunuyama. Shrunuyama, may we listen. How do we listen? With our ears. So karnebihi. What should we listen? Bhadram, that which is auspicious. O Deva, O Devatas. So here, the prayer is addressed to the devatās, the presiding deities. Now, who are these devatās? Just like a prime minister is the main minister, and he has got so many, what you call, MPs, sub-ministers. And each minister has got a portfolio, a department. Maybe an electricity department or transport department or water department. So many departments are there. And each department has got a particular head, isn't it? That particular minister. In the same way, the Lord runs the whole universe. And while running this universe, there are so many portfolios, so many departments. And there are departmental heads. Those departmental heads are called devatās. Right? So many devatās are there. In Hinduism, you will find umpteen number of devatās. And every devata has got a particular department. He is in charge of that. Right? So now, this prayer is addressed to those devatās. So what is the prayer? Bhadram karnebi shrunuyama deva, O devatās. May we listen to what is auspicious. Bhadram pashyema akshabihi, O yajatraha. Yajatraha is another name for devatās. What is this yajatra? Yajat means the worshippers. Traha means the protectors. The protectors of the worshippers. Yajatraha. Nothing but devatās. O yajatraha. What is the prayer? Bhadram akshabihi pashyema. May we see what is auspicious with our akshabihi eyes. So may we listen to what is auspicious. May we see what is auspicious. Now the question is, what is that which is auspicious? Anything that quietens the mind is auspicious. Anything which disturbs the mind is inauspicious. So what is the most auspicious thing? The name of the Lord is the most auspicious thing to hear, and the form of the Lord is the most auspicious thing to see. Now the question is, why only eyes and ears? They have not mentioned other indriyas. What are the other indriyas? Ears, taken care. Skin, not mentioned. Eyes mentioned. Nose, not mentioned. Maybe smell auspicious. All those things are not there. Only hearing and seeing. No smelling, no tasting, no feeling. Why only these two? Only these two are mentioned because these two are the major indriyas which create distractions in the mind, which can influence the mind. What you see, what you hear, these are the two things which can influence the state of the mind. When you see something inauspicious, the mind is disturbed. When you hear something inauspicious, the mind is disturbed. Isn't it? Now, as far as a Vedantic student is concerned, as far as a spiritual seeker is concerned, for him, the quietude of the mind is the most important thing. The purity of mind is the most important thing, because he is handling the subtlest of the knowledge. The spiritual knowledge is the subtlest and the greatest. So since this knowledge is the greatest, you need a very, very subtle mind, a pure mind, a quiet mind to understand and appreciate and practice this knowledge. So therefore, a spiritual student has to be very alert while he is interacting with the world. There are things which can disturb your mind. So he has to be very careful as to what kind of books he reads, what kind of programs he watches on the television, what kind of websites he browses, what kind of people he mingles with, and what kind of discussion happen in the group. Because all of them, they directly or indirectly, they influence the mind. So a spiritual student has to be very careful in the day-to-day interaction in the world. Puja Gurudev used to say, for a half an hour of efficient meditation, you have to prepare for 23 and a half hours. You have to be very alert, because the world is a mixture of good and bad. You have to expose only to those which gives in good inputs. So therefore, a spiritual student must be careful. As far as a realized saint is concerned, or as far as an advanced seeker is concerned, this instruction may not be applicable, because when you reach an advanced state of spirituality, even the inauspicious thing, you see only auspiciousness. Even when you listen to inauspicious, your mind has the ability to see auspiciousness even in inauspicious thing. This is applicable only to the advanced sadhakas, not for the beginners. A Mahatma was walking along the road. He was just looking, and he saw one beautiful woman on the first floor or second floor in the building. And looking at her, he went into samadhi. He lost body consciousness. The devotees, his disciples, carried him. They were all confused. What is this Guru doing? Staring at this woman. Later on, when he came out of the samadhi, they asked, Guru, what happened? Then this Mahatma said, looking at that beautiful woman, I thought, if this woman packed in filth can be so beautiful, how much more beautiful should be that Lord who has created her? And thinking this, I lost consciousness. Now see, as far as a Mahatma is concerned, everything reminds him of God and God alone. When you have reached that state, then these instructions are not applicable for you. But for the beginners, yes. Bhadram Shrunuyama, Bhadram Pashyema. They are all very important. And very interestingly, the first itself is listening. Shravana comes first for a spiritual student. Isn't it? May we get more and more opportunities to listen to the sacred scriptures. Yes, then what? sthiraihi angaihi tushtuvam saha tanubhihi. O gods, bless us with sthira anga. Sthira anga means firm limbs. May our health be good. May our sense organs be in good condition, healthy, vibrant. But what is it that you want to do with that? Good health, good limbs. Why? So that tushtuvam saha, so that we can glorify Him. O Lord, give us good body, good health, good limbs, so that throughout our life we can glorify that Supreme Lord. Tanubihi, tanu meaning is body. Another meaning of tanu is Vedic Mantras. So through the Vedic Mantras, may we glorify that Supreme Lord. So the point to be kept in mind, in spirituality, you have to keep your body in good condition. Very many times we neglect our health in the name of spirituality. Anyway, I am not the body. Why should I take care of the body? Only immature seekers do that. You have to keep your body and mind in good condition. That is why in Ashtanga Yoga, the first it starts with yoga, pranayama, etc. All those things are necessary. Keep your body fit. If your body is not fit, this imperfect, sick body will demand attention. When you are seated for meditation, if each and every part of your body aches, then what happens? You can't soar high in meditation. Right? So body has to be kept fit, in good condition, healthy condition, so that you can forget about the body. You can forget about the body only when the body is fit. Similarly, you can forget about the mind only when the mind is fit. Fine. So, what is the prayer? O Lord, may we glorify You with this wonderful body. Now, the literal meaning is glorification can be done by chanting the name of the Lord, singing bhajans, stotrams, etc. This is superficial meaning. But actually, what is the real glorification of God? True glorification consists of you are truly glorifying God when the divine virtues of the Lord, those divine virtues are reflected in your personality. That is true glorification. The thoughts I think, the words I utter, the way in which I behave, the actions which come forth from me, when all those thoughts, words and actions, when they have a stamp of divinity, then that is true glorification of God. When our thoughts, words and deeds are divine, filled with noble virtues, divine virtues, then we say divinity is reflecting upon such a personality. Divinity peeps through such a personality. This is true glorification. When Jesus Christ was crucified on the cross, what did He say? O Lord, forgive them. They do not know what they do. Now what is happening? Look at this person. He is being crucified, but he is absolutely at peace. Look at the amount of strength which he is displaying. Look at the attitude. He is forgiving. Now here we see the glory of God. Because he is able to do this wonder because he is connected to God. He is tuned to God, isn't it? So what are we seeing there? We are seeing a devotee who is expressing the glory of God. Forgiving is His glory. Strength is His glory. Peace is His glory. That glory is being reflected through the devotee. So this is the way we must live our life. So what is the prayer? O God, our life should be such that through our thoughts, words and deeds, we must be able to reflect your glories. To such an extent that whenever anybody comes and sees my life, they must be inspired to walk this path of God. If this is the kind of life I have led, then truly I am glorifying God. When I live a life perfectly as an equipment, as an instrument in the hands of the Lord, when I live a life fulfilling His will, then that is true glorification of God. So, O gods, may we live such a life. Vyashema devahitam yat ayuhu, whatever lifespan is given to us, devahitam, given by gods, vyashema, may we spend in this way. Whatever prarabdha karma we have, according to prarabdha karma, the body is going to exist. So whatever lifespan we have, I am not asking for a bigger lifespan. Whatever lifespan we have, may we live in this way, glorifying the Supreme. So in this regard, O Devatas, we need your blessings. So who are the Devatas? Some few Devatas are mentioned. Swastina Indro Vriddhashravaha. O Indra, Swastinaha, please bless us. Who is Indra? Vriddhashravaha. Vriddhashravaha means most ancient, famous Indra Devata. Now Indra Devata is a presiding deity of hands. So if you read Tattva Bodha, you will find that. Hastayor Indraha is the presiding deity of hands. Now hands represents what? Hands represent hard work, isn't it? And wherever there is hard work, there has to be prosperity, there has to be name and fame, right? Everything comes. So Indra, O Lord Indra, O Devata, please bless us that may we put forth our best of efforts in this direction. May we do our sadhana with full sincerity, with full dedication. O Indra Devata, please bless us. Swastinaha. Swastinah Pusha Vishwaveda. O Pushan, who is Pushan? Poshan Karta is Pushan, sun god, the nourisher. Poshanam means nourishing. So one of the names of Surya Bhagavan is Pushan. So Swastinaha, O sun god, please bless us. Vishwaveda, you are the all-knower. What is the unique feature of the sun? Sun does not know what is darkness, isn't it? Because it is light. So, O sun god, just like you dispel this physical darkness, in the same way, please dispel the darkness of ignorance in my heart, which can go only through spiritual knowledge. And thus, make me an all-knower. Vishwavedaha you are. The moment you come to know yourself, you become an all-knower. When you know what is Jiva, Jagat and Ishvara, you become an all-knower. Among these three, actually, if you know the content of Jiva, you become an all-knower. So, O Sun God, you are an all-knower, make me also an all-knower. Swastinah Pusha Vishwaveda. Then Swastinah Tarkshyah Arishtanemihi. Hey Tarkshya, bless us. Who is Tarkshya? Here it is written, Lord of swift motion. Lord of swift motion. Who is he? So it can be Vayu Devata or it can be Garuda Devata also. Garuda Devata is also Tarkshya. So what is the unique feature? The speed, swift motion. Arishtanemihi, remover of obstacle, is called Arishtanemi. Here it is written, who saves from harm. That is also fine. So, O Vayu Devata, O Garuda Devata, bless us. Bless us with what? May we progress in spirituality with full speed, with top speed. And at the same time, may all the obstacles be removed from the path. This way, bless us. And then, Swastino Brihaspati'r dadhatu. O Brihaspati, bless us. Who is Brihaspati? He is the spiritual guru of gods. Lord of spiritual wisdom is Brihaspati. Sometimes he is called as Vachaspati also. Lord of speech. Lord of spiritual wisdom. So therefore, O God, bless us with spiritual wisdom. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Shanti means peace. Why 3 times chanted? Because Ashanti can come from 3 sources. And what are the 3 sources? Adhi Daivika, Adhi Bhautika, Adhyatmika. Adhi Daivika means from the sources unknown, where we have no control. Adhi Daivika. Adhi Bhautika means from the immediate surrounding, where we have some control. Adhyatmika means obstacles from within. So what are the examples for Adi Daivika? We have no control over it. For example, lightning, earthquake, tsunami, and so many things. We don't know from where it is coming, and we have no control also. Adi Daivika Tapa. Adi Bhautika means from the immediate surrounding. Mosquito bite, no light, no mic. All this can be Adi Bhautika. We have to some extent we have control. But they are not very important. The most important obstacle is Adhyatmika obstacle. And what is that? Number 1, no health. Fever, cough, cold. Adhyatmika. Physical health, fine to some extent. But even worse is lack of faith. No faith in the scripture, no faith in the guru, no faith in God. A doubting mind. Again, lack of concentration. The mind keeps wandering even when the talks are going on. These are all Adhyatmika Tapa. Lack of interest in the subject. Depression, dejection. Something is worrying and the mind is continuously thinking about that, because of which it is not able to pay attention. They're all Adhyatmika Tapa. So what is the prayer? Oh God, bless us that all these kinds of obstacles may not trouble me, at least during the study time. I'm not saying remove my prarabdha karma. No. What I'm saying is, at least when I'm studying, let them not trouble me, so that I can gain this knowledge. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. So shall we chant this mantra, understanding the meaning? Yes, together. Om Bhadram Karnebhe Shrunuyama Devaः Bhadram Pashyem Akshabhiryajatraः Sthirairangaistuštuvagam sastanubhihi Vyashema devahitam yadayuh Swasti na indro vruddhashravah Swasti na pusha vishvavedah Swasti nastarksho arishtanemihi Swasti no brihaspati'r dadhatu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Right. Now we'll enter into the Upanishads. The first line comes in page number 13. Let us chant that. Om Atha Ashvalāyana Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasametya Uvacha Atha Ashvalāyanah Bhagavantam Parameshtinam Upasametyo Vacha. Yes. Atha, thereafter. Ashvalāyanah, this great rishi called Ashvalāyana, Upasametya, having approached. Whom did he approach? Bhagavantam Parameshtinam. Bhagavan Brahmājī, Lord Brahmājī. Upasametya, having approached. Uvacha, he spoke these words. So here the name of Brahmājī is given as Parameshti. What is Parameshti? Parame sthitam. Tasmat Parameshti. The one who is seated in the highest. Parame. He is seated on top. What do you mean seated on top? Where does Brahmājī live? He lives in Brahmaloka or Satyaloka, considered to be the highest loka. So what are the higher lokas? Bhuhu, Bhuvaha, Suvaha, Mahaha, Janaha, Tapaha, Satyam, highest. So the one who resides in the highest world. Therefore he is called Parameshti. One meaning. Another meaning. The one who is seated on the highest means what? He is abiding on the highest truth. He is abiding in the highest truth. Therefore Parameshti. He is abiding in his own self. Therefore Parameshti. Because he is a spiritual teacher. So naturally he is a master. A spiritual master. And what does a spiritual master do? They abide in the ultimate truth. Therefore Parameshti. So what did this Ashvalāyana do? This Ashvalāyana, he himself is a great rishi. Very famous in Vedic times. This Ashvalāyana rishi approached the spiritual teacher, Lord Brahmājī, and he spoke. Now how does this Upanishad begin? Atha. Atha means what? Thereafter. Whereafter? Oh, this is the first verse. In the first verse, first word. Naturally the question may come, whereafter? What had happened? Because Atha means something has happened before, isn't it? Therefore, thereafter. What has happened? So now, there is a big commentary written on this word Atha. It's a Mangala Suchaka word. Athato Brahmājitnyasa. Even in Brahma Sutra, they start with Atha only. Thereafter. Okay. So now, Ashvalāyana Rishi is approaching Lord Brahmājī, who is the spiritual teacher. Correct? Now he is going to ask certain questions. So what kind of questions it must be? What kind of questions will you ask a spiritual teacher? You will ask only spiritual questions, correct? A physics teacher, what kind of questions you will ask? Physics questions. A chemistry teacher, you will ask only chemistry questions. So a spiritual teacher, what kind of questions you will ask? Spiritual questions, naturally. So he has approached a spiritual teacher because he had spiritual questions in his mind. Now what kind of mind will entertain spiritual questions? According to the scriptures, only a pure mind can entertain spiritual questions. These questions cannot come to an impure mind. These questions can come only to a pure mind. So therefore, now that Ashvalāyana Rishi has got these questions, it means his mind is pure. If his mind is pure, definitely he must have done something to purify his mind. Atha means thereafter. Meaning, after having purified his mind, Now that his mind is having spiritual questions. And when you have spiritual questions, you have to approach a spiritual teacher. So therefore, now Ashvalāyana Rishi is approaching a spiritual teacher. Right? Now what are the indications of a pure mind? So the scriptures say, your mind should have sadhana chatushtaya sampatti. Sadhana chatushtaya sampanna adhikari, it is said. So what are the sadhana chatushtayam? I am not going into that because that itself is a big topic. In short, it is viveka, vairagya, samadhi shatka sampatti and mumukshutvam. These topics are dealt in detail in a book called Tattvabodha, Fundamentals of Vedanta. We are not going into it. We will just say the mind is pure. Now the thing is, you said a pure mind entertains spiritual questions. Now what are the spiritual questions which a pure mind will entertain? What are these questions? So we will see some samples of these questions first. The questions are of this type. Who am I? Where have I come from? What is the purpose of life? After death, where will I go? Is there existence after death? Is there something called God? If at all He exists, what is my relationship with Him? If at all He exists, where does He exist? What is my relationship with this world? These kinds of questions are called spiritual questions. They are of very high level. There is so much of suffering in the world. If there exists a God, why is He not bothering about these sufferings? The people say that God is compassionate. If He is compassionate, why He is allowing this suffering to take place in this world? People say that God is impartial, just. But in this world you see a lot of partiality happening, injustice happening. How does He allow this to happen? These are all the questions entertained by a pure mind. And remember, these are not just passing by questions. This person is tormented by these questions. He craves to find answers to these questions. It makes his sleep impossible. Deep down he is disturbed. Now, can you find answers to these questions from the normal means of normal sources of knowledge? Television, schools, colleges. Can you find answers to these? Never. These questions are never answered. These questions are never addressed in these institutions. So naturally you will have to go to a spiritual master. So such a mind which asks questions related to life, this is the nature of a pure mind. Purer the mind becomes lighter. And anything that becomes lighter has to go higher and higher. A pure mind starts thinking higher. What are the questions which an impure mind will have? That we all know. How to make lot of money. How to improve my looks. My hair, my nail, my eyes, my wrinkles. How to set it right. How to create a good impression. Good impression. Others should have a very good impression about me. How to create that good impression? These are all the questions raised by an impure mind. The kaun banega karodpati question. These are the questions the impure mind is interested in. All unwanted rubbish. Somewhere I was reading how to create impression, a good impression about yourself and others. So it is said, keep your laptop on with so many windows open and so many files here and there. And now and then your mobile should ring. It may be an alarm, doesn't matter. The other person doesn't know anyway. So you are a very busy person. And whenever you walk, you should walk very fast. Then you will create a very good impression that you are a very busy person, most wanted person. And your time is very precious. So some tips were given. How to create very good impression. Coming back. The point is, these are the unwanted things the impure mind is interested in. How to indulge in more and more pleasures. How to indulge in new pleasures. What are the different ways of tickling the sense organs? Because that is the only happiness they know. The mind is always interested in Kamini, Kanchana, Kirti. That's all. Such a mind cannot have these kinds of questions. The questions which are related to the higher plane. Such gross, sensuous, materialistic, impure, indisciplined mind can never have spiritual questions. If at all they have these questions, that is when some near and dear one dies. Yes, those few moments the mind raises these questions. The near and dear one is dead and he is being carried. And what is chanted? Ram Nam Satya Hai. And the chanting is for whom? Not for the dead person, but for the others who are carrying. Remember, a time will come when you will also lie down like this. So take the name of the Lord. That is the message. The people who chant, they think it is for the dead person. Very many times Bhagavad Gita is chanted in front of a dead person. It is for whom? It is for the onlookers. It is not for the dead person. He is gone. Bhadram Karne bhi Shrunuyama. Now Karna is not there. The others who are seated there, it is for them. Isn't it? So an impure mind does entertain such thoughts only when a tragedy or a shock in life comes. So when that near and dear one is dead and his body is burning, then all these questions come. What is life? Look at this person. Whole life he has dedicated to earn wealth, money, possession, position, etc. Everything he has left here, he has gone. What a waste of life. But what happens to our vairagya? For some 1 or 2 days. And again we are back to normal. So this is the condition of an impure mind. We are not talking of that. We are talking of a pure mind. A pure mind will take these questions very seriously. And a pure mind will strive to find answers to these questions. Satisfactory answers. And whenever there is a great urge in us to seek answers to these questions, it is a law of nature that Guru appears. When the student is prepared, the Guru has to appear. It's a law of the universe. Are you ready for the spiritual journey? Guru will come. You don't have to search for a Guru. So Atha means thereafter. So what after? After having attained sufficient purity in order to understand this great knowledge. After attained that purity, the mind is filled with devotion and dispassion. The mind is filled with all divine virtues. Such a pure-minded person, Ashvalāyana, such a person is now approaching the great teacher. Now here it is said, Bhagavan, Bhagavantam Parameshtinam. Brahmājī is called Bhagavan. Who is Bhagavan? Who is Balavan? Balavan means the one who has Bala is called Balavan. Jnanavan, who has got Jnana, is called Jnanavan. So who is Bhagavan? One who has Bhaga. What is Bhaga? The sixfold wealth is called Bhaga, the possessor of sixfold wealth. What are the sixfold wealth? So there's a beautiful verse. In one of the Puranas it comes. Aishwaryasya samagrasya dharmasya yashasashriyah vairagyasya mokshasya shannam bhaga itiritah. These are the sixfold wealth. What are they? Aishwaryasya samagrasya. Aishwarya, number one. Dharmasya yashasashriyah. Dharma, number two. Third one, yashas. Fourth one, Shri. Fifth one, Vairagya. Sixth one, Moksha. Sixfold wealth. The one who has these sixfold wealth in full measure is called Bhagavan. So what is the first one? Aishwarya. Aishwarya means what? Ishwarasya bhava. That power to rule is called Aishwarya. Then Dharma, righteousness. Yashas, name, fame. Shri, material prosperity, wealth, etc. Vairagya, dispassion. Moksha, liberation. The one who has these six wealth in full measure is called Bhagavan. Many times a realized saint is also called Bhagavan. Bhagavan Ramana Maharshi, we say. Bhagavan Adi Shankaracharya. Bhagavan Vedavyasa. A realized saint is also called Bhagavan because he has become one with Bhagavan. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. So such a Bhagavan is Lord Brahmājī. Ashvalāyana Rishi approaches him. Now why is this name taken? These two names are taken in order to convey the message that something very serious is going to happen. Because two important personalities are going to meet. When two worldly people meet, what will be the content of discussion? Worldliness. When two sports stars meet, what kind of... It will be regarding sports only, isn't it? But when two eminent personalities, spiritual personalities, when they meet, what is going to be the content of discussion? It is going to be spirituality, the highest knowledge. So in order to make the student pay attention to what is going on, what is going to happen next, in order to give an alert signal, beware, pay attention, something important is going to happen. Because two important personalities, they are going to meet each other, some discussion is going to happen. Listen to it. Parameshtinam. So Ashvalāyana Rishi, after having approached Brahmājī, now see the term used, Upasametya. Upasametya means what? Approached. But in this term itself there are three terms. Upa plus sam plus etya. Etya means to go. How did he go? Samyak, sam. He approached him very well. Upa, near. In the right way, the student approaches the teacher. Now, what is the right way? What is the right way of approaching a student? So, in Bhagavad Gita it is said, Tadvidhi pranipatena pariprasnena sevaya upadekshyanti te jnanam jnaninaha tattvadarshinaha. How should we approach a teacher? Tadvidhi, know this great knowledge. Pranipatena, pranipata means sashtanga pranama to the teacher. Pariprasnena, ask questions. Sevaya, serve the teacher. Upadekshanti te jnanam, those wise saints, they will advise you, they will initiate you towards this knowledge. So upasametya means having approached in the right spirit. Upa means near. Of course it is physical near, but more than physical nearness, there is something else also. A mental tuning is also necessary. It is not just physical nearness, it is mental nearness also. There are very many people who say, I have been with Gurudev for so many years. But nothing has happened to them. 20, 30 years they have been with Gurudev, but did any change happen? Nothing. Physically they were near, massaging his feet, serving in food and this and that. But that personality remains the same, bitter as it was. But there are other people who have never even seen Gurudev. Maybe they have read just his books. Maybe they have seen their videos, but their personality has changed within a few years. How did this happen? They were never physically near. But then, what kind of nearness is being mentioned here? It is the mental attunement that is more important than your physical nearness to the Guru. Our gross mind can understand only the physical nearness. Many times the devotees feel jealous among themselves. Oh, that lady, she is getting such a wonderful opportunity to serve the Guru. And in our idea, what is he serving? Feeding him, massaging him, and this and that. Real service is not that. Real service is trying to understand his teaching and trying to live it. That is a true service. So upasametya, no doubt he is physically there, but having approached with the right attitude. And what is that attitude? A heart filled with love, devotion, reverence, respect. This is the kind of mind which one must possess when he is approaching the teacher. This is very important. Full of humility, full of love, full of respect, reverence. When your heart is filled with these kinds of emotions, and then when you approach the teacher, you are fully tuned to the teacher. And once you are fully tuned, knowledge flows. If the water has to flow from the water tank to the tap, the pipe has to be hollow and clean, isn't it? Otherwise, what will happen? The water gets blocked. Water is there, but the tap will not produce any water. So in the same way, there is something called mental attunement with the teacher. And this is possible only when the heart is filled with all these divine emotions. This is the meaning upasametya, approaching very well in the right spirit, in the right attitude. This attitude is necessary because you are going to listen to some kind of advice. And when do you take advice seriously? When a person whom you love and respect, when that person gives the advice, then alone you take that advice seriously, isn't it? If some Tom, Dick and Harry, whom you never value or respect, a foolish person, a childish person gives a very serious advice, will you take it? Advice alone is not what is important. Who is giving that advice? That is also is important. Isn't it? Many times the parents scream at their children, advice, but no effect. Why? The children have no respect for their parents. Why? Because the parents have been living such a life. There's a very famous statement. What you are is speaking so loud that I am not able to hear what you say. Understood? What you are is speaking so loud that I am not able to understand, I am not able to hear what you are saying. I am not able to hear what you are saying. The way you are behaving, the way you are carrying yourself, your thoughts, words and deeds, they have created such an impression about me that I am not able to hear your advice, lip service. No. This is a very important thing which you have to keep in mind. Even when we go to seek advice, where do we go? We don't go to a person who is disturbed, who is irritated. We go to a wise person, a peaceful person, knowledgeable person, whom we love and respect. To such people only we go. And to such people alone we share everything, even the secret things in our life, personal thing. very intimately personal thing also, we share with only that person whom we trust, whom we respect, whom we love. Isn't it? So all this meaning come in this one term, upasametya. So it has to be understood, Ashvalāyana Rishi had that much of respect and reverence for the teacher. Therefore he is going there. The teacher has lived a life which is respect worthy. Right. Now having approached the teacher, he asked, uvacha, he said, what did he say? The next verse. Adhihi bhagavan brahmavidyam varishtham sada sadbhih sevyamanam nigudham yaya chirat sarva papam vyapohya parat param purusham yati vidwan adhihi bhagavan brahma vidyam varishtham sada sadbhih sevyamanam nigudham yaya chirat sarva papam vyapohya parat param purusham yati vidwan. So what did he ask? So Ashvalāyana Rishi asked Brahmājī. What did he ask? Hey Bhagavan, O Lord, Adhihi, please teach me. Please teach me. What should he teach? Brahmavidya, the knowledge of Brahman, the knowledge of ultimate truth. O teacher, please teach me this ultimate truth, the ultimate knowledge of Brahman. And what is this knowledge of Brahman? All the others are adjectives of Brahmavidya. What are they? Varishtham, sada sadbhis sevyamanam, nigudham, yayachira sarva papam vyapohya, parat param purusham yati vidwan. 5 adjectives are given. So these adjectives are glorification of Brahmavidya. How great is this Brahmavidya? This knowledge which I am asking, this knowledge, I know its value. It's priceless. And why is it priceless? These are the adjectives. Adihi Bhagavan Brahmavidyam, which is Varishtham, thus best. Varaha, good. Variyan, better. Varishtaha, best. This is the best among all branches of knowledge. Now, why is Brahmavidya the best? It is the ultimate because the one who gains this knowledge becomes immortal. It is the best because one who gains this knowledge becomes free from all kinds of sorrows. It is the best because one who gains it becomes infinite. It is the best because one who gains it becomes infinitely blissful. It is the best because one who gains it becomes free from the birth-death cycle. It is the best because one who gains it becomes free from all confusions of life. It is the best because one who gains it gets all his questions answered in life. Right? It is the best because he becomes fearless. It is the best because it is this knowledge which is the source of all other noble virtues in life. All noble virtues spring from this knowledge. Therefore it is Varishtham, the best. O teacher, please give me this knowledge. Varishtham. And since it is Varishtham, next one, Sada Sadbihi Sevyamana. Sadbihi, the noble people, the great people, sada, all the time, sevyamana, they resort to this knowledge. They strive to gain this knowledge. Because for them, this knowledge is of the highest importance, of the greatest value. They value this knowledge as the highest. And therefore, all the time, they try to gain this, resort to this knowledge. Sada sadbhi sevyamana. Whatever you value in life, for that you will have time in life, isn't it? It's a law of universe. What you value, you will have time for it. There are many people who say, Swamiji, I would have loved to attend satsang, but because so, I am not able to attend. What does it mean? Something else is more valuable, isn't it? What you value, you will have time. And what you spend time, wherever you spend time, that you will get also. This is life. Whatever you value the most, someday or the other you will get it. It's a law. If you value wealth, yes, someday you will become stinkingly rich. Right? If you value relationship, you are ready to sacrifice everything for that relationship. Whatever you value in life and work hard for it, you will definitely get it. It is a sequence. What you value, you have time for it, you work hard for it, and a time comes when you get it. Simple. Now, as far as the great ones are concerned, this knowledge is the ultimate, first priority to this knowledge in life. Because they know, once this knowledge is gained, all sufferings will come to an end. All confusions in life will come to an end. All the sense of imperfection, the sense of limitation will come to an end. Only and only when I gain this knowledge. So therefore, their entire life is geared towards this knowledge. Sada sadbhi sevyamana nigudha. Suppose you put a chocolate and 1,000 rupees note in front of a child. Which one will the child take? Chocolate. Why? Because the child values chocolate. It knows the value of the chocolate, but it doesn't know the value of this 1,000 rupees note, isn't it? In the same way, majority of us don't know the value of this knowledge. We are childish. Therefore, we go after the pleasures of the world, thinking that is the ultimate. And we disregard this ultimate knowledge. That 1,000 rupee can give you so many chocolates. The child doesn't know. Isn't it? So too with the majority of the people here. Remaining we will see tomorrow. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschit Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Hari Om